We turned off the hose on Friday and we came back and it had dropped like 3-4 inches over the weekend, and that was just a huge red flag. It wasn't running, it wasn't even all the way filled up, and we knew we had a problem right away. Welcome to Hiner Outdoor Living. We're a team of yardists taking boring, cookie cutter yards and transforming them into one-of-a-kind backyard retreats. Join us as we bring quality, passion, and fun to yards all across the Colorado Front Range, inspiring life outside. What's up guys, Matt with Hiner Outdoor Living, and we are back at our largest project in company history. And we've made a lot of progress, but it took a lot longer than we thought to get to this point. We had a few obstacles. We had a leak to track down in the pond. We had to figure out how we could work around that and still stay busy and keep things going. But we're getting to the very final stretch of this project and it's coming together and it's looking magnificent. I can't wait to show you where we came from, how we get to this point. Let's take a look and yeah, let's see how we got to where we are right now. Once we got started out here, we had to demo everything. We had to get back to a square one. Once we had square one, we were able to lay everything out, get our hardscapes, our underground utilities brought in, get our footers. We had to dig down past frost so that way we can plan for these patio pond edges. Once we had the the concrete poured, we were able to bring Omar in with his crew, and they worked their magic building the pond, bringing in the boulders and building the waterfalls and all the filtration that came in with that. As soon as Omar was done with that, we were able to do the retaining walls going around. We had some other hardscapes with the pathways and the terracing on the side yard, and then we were able to bring Ethan with the landscape crew back in, where he can start bringing in the trees, the plants, the mulch, and irrigation. And so that's kind of what's bringing us to what you're seeing to this point right now. This is obviously like lower ground cover, maybe a couple of perennials that get 18, 24 inches, but nothing too tall right here, because the last thing we want to do is block the view of all the eye candy that's over here. I purposefully leave holes like this so we can put a ground cover, be a good spot for like stone crop or something like that.
I think the stone crop will feel nice.
And then once you get here, I'd love to see something a little bit taller, because I want to hide the plastic even more. Okay. So that way it just looks like that water's coming out of nowhere. One of the most exciting times is when, after you've built a water feature, especially a pond at this scale, you've put weeks into building it, you get that reward of filling up the water. Well, we turned off the hose on Friday and we came back and it had dropped like 3-4 inches over the weekend, and that was just a huge red flag. It wasn't running, it wasn't even all the way filled up, and we knew we had a problem right away. See how it's dropped right here and it's at like the perfect line of where these stones are? What we'd probably do is start building these areas and just or something that maybe one of the labor guys didn't say something and just put a stake through it. I've lost too many nights sleep over this in the past, and end of the day we always find it. So it's just a matter of going, oh crap, it's not ideal, it's not fun. So we just roll up our sleeves and jump into finding it. We do have a process of elimination, but unfortunately some of that process is a waiting game. And so, once we knew that we had a leak, we did fill it back up just to make sure that we didn't have any weird like air pockets or weird parts that just filled up with water that caused it to drop. And so we filled that up and it dropped again. And so we knew right then and there that we did in fact have a leak. And so step one of that process is stop filling it up, don't run any pumps, let that water drop all the way down until it stops, because then what that does is that eliminates all 100% of the surface area of where that leak could be, and when it stops, what that does is it gives you a perimeter of where that leak could be. It really reduces the amount of investigation that you need to do once you kind of allow that water to stop dropping all the way down to that level. Knowing where it had dropped to, I kind of had a gut intuition that it was going to be where we had some new contractors that were new to working with us. We had told them there's a liner under here, please be careful. Well, the message didn't get passed on to one of their laborers, and they put 3 stakes through our liner. 1, 2, all the way through, and then 3. If you look, it's like literally straight down where the forms would have been.
Now we find only 3 big holes that the concrete people drive down into our liner. Remember that this water feature has double liner, so we're not only gonna have to fix the one on top, we're gonna have to fix the one on the bottom as well. So that's why we have something improvised, so we can open up the hole so we can patch the one on the bottom, and then the one on the top is a different story. When we place a big boulder like that, we have a lot of protection underneath, just to ensure that we don't go through this, because it's definitely a really hard task to find a hole. I mean, luckily, in this situation, we start looking where in an area where the concrete people start working, so we kind of knew something was off. But if it was the holes anywhere else, it would be kind of hard to find. But this time, we kind of have a clue where it was the problem, and we find it right away. I'm happy that we found it, because like I said earlier, it's a big deal. So a big water feature like this one is leaking, you know, and thankfully we found it quick. So we got the final product here. All the patches are done. Hopefully there's no any other holes. Super happy that we got it fixed quick, and now we're just gonna wait a little for it to cure, and tomorrow we're probably gonna start putting more water into it. We're finally done. We've been waiting for this time, where we can see the waterfall flowing, and we can see the whole thing come alive, water flowing. That's the best part. So what I like about it is how different these 2 streams are. You know, one obviously has those big boulders. Big boulders makes a big difference. So how the water, it comes in between these 2, that big boulder in between. And this one is just like a narrow, more like a really tight flow. They have to be different in order to catch your attention. If you build them kind of the same, it just kind of looks boring. So I like how wide this one is, and I like how narrow this one is.
Stay tuned with this project, because we're so close to the finish line. You're gonna get to see the fire pit coming to the finish line, so we'll get some flames. We'll have the labyrinth being done. We'll be ready for sods. We'll be doing everything that we can possibly do this time of year, given that it is December and going into January. We made some great progress on this project. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, drop us a like or a comment, and please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss another episode. Every Thursday about 4 o'clock Mountain Time, we drop a new episode, so we'll see you on the next one. Take care and have